family is a musician at all. So I know that's really uncommon for many, guitarists or musicians who end up being musicians. They usually have someone in their family. But I didn't have that. So when I played Guitar Hero for the first time, it was like my first exposure to like, rock and metal and punk and guitar playing in general. And I love the music in the game. And I never heard anything like that before. So that was all new to me. So
would you be sitting there noodling around with your friends while you were hanging out playing games? Would you be just sitting there kind of hanging out?
You mean like guitar playing?
Yeah.
I got my first guitar when I was like 12 or 13, and I played it here and there. But before I got my guitar, I actually like made a pretend guitar out of a ruler and a piece of paper with 6 lines on it. So I would pretend to play guitar with that. So that was, no sound came out obviously, but I like the idea.
It's alleged I may have done some things like that over the course of my musical career.
Yeah. So So I did that, and I just wanted a guitar so bad. So my mom bought me a guitar, just like a Squire,
Okay.
like one of those.
Almost everybody gets a Squire, or back when I was younger, a Silvertone,
Yeah, like one of those starter kits with the amp and the guitar and the picks and stuff. And I played that. I was really into the Beatles when I started playing, so I would learn like Beatles songs and stuff like that. And then as I, took a couple private lessons or whatever, I was exposed to like Led Zeppelin and different players like that. I got into Jimmy Page. When I heard Stairway to Heaven, I thought it was the coolest thing I've ever heard. So, I learned a bunch of his solos, and then I got into Yngwie, and it just kind of snowballed.
You've certainly you've mastered the Yngwie style and all that cool stuff, and I imagine you listen to a lot of the folks, Steve Vai, all these sort of Jeff Beck is kind of an older cat, but one who's still tearing it up as far as I can tell.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So do you have a band that you have your own band, or are you playing in a band? Are you playing in 5 bands? How's that going?
I don't play in a band at all at the moment. I'd love to, but I'm trying to finish my album at the moment. So cool. I'm getting into singing as well. So I'm trying to write some, I guess you could call it more commercial music, stuff with words and vocals. So I've been working on that. And then once I finish my album, I plan to like get a group together and play out
Excellent.
around the area and such, and hopefully tour and do more albums and stuff.
Sure. Like that. Well, you certainly got the chops for it, and I know you hear that all the time. So I mean, it's obvious you work very hard, and everybody always wants to be in a band or be a musician until they have to start to do the band thing. And you can kind of tell the people who drift off. I started at 10 and I'm 60, so I kind of figure by now, I guess I'm not really going to find something to do with my life. But I've always enjoyed it, and it's a good thing. So your parents obviously supported you. Did you have the garage band thing going on when you were back in the teenage years?
No. I actually, once I started playing guitar, I like begged my mom to be homeschooled because I didn't want to, be in
Gotcha.
school.
Wow, great mom.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so I did that for all of high school. I didn't go to actual high school. I just homeschooled. Teachers came in and here and there, and I did my schoolwork, and it gave me all the time to play. So anytime I was doing schoolwork, I would play. But I never did the garage band thing. Okay. I was in one band in Richmond for a while. It was like a cover band, and that's it. But yeah, no, I haven't done much. I love performing live though, so I definitely am looking forward to that.
I'm sure it's such a great feeling. Well, I noticed that some of our people haven't heard that clip we ran. I got a note from a friend of mine, so I'm going to just play the clip we played. And then after we play that, I'm going to go to a break, and then we'll come back and talk some more. And then I've got another clip for the people who want to see you just play a cover. I liked your band. Looked like fun. You had a bunch of girls playing with you and a couple of dudes.
Yeah.
Do you get any of that kind of like she's a girl crap anymore, or do you just shut it down when you open your guitar? I'm curious because things have changed. Guys are pigs. I know that. And sometimes I've seen them. Like I've been in a band where the new chick comes in, Yeah, there's always got to be one dick in the band who's like, oh, she's okay for a girl. And I'm like, just shut up, you know? Let's see her play, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, the funny thing is, I don't get that at all. You know, all my community of like shredders, you know, like
Right, right. I
they
would
really
think.
embrace me, and they love it, and there's nothing like that. I know a lot of girls get that, and I've read the comments and I've seen the things and all that stuff, but you know, I kind of make an effort to like make myself, you know, be like, you know, one of them. You know what I mean? I try and
Yeah.
like make sure my,
You know,
my skill
I
is
think
like.
that level, the people who are into that highly technical guitar, I think we're a pretty, really open-minded bunch. We like
Yeah.
great players, and you know, anybody who gets to a certain level to be able to play, you know, I've never, I don't believe in crapping on people's dreams. Even when I had a studio, I'd have people come through, and you see a lot of musicians come through, and you're like, oh, they're going to need some work, and you go in and you give them the best you can possibly do with what you've got to offer them. I mean, I've had songwriters who were clients of mine the first time they came in, and I just went, oh man, this is going to take some work. But I watched them grow over 5 years and end up doing, and like they learned a lot, you know. I think anybody who can, if they can't afford to go to school, I always tell people, well, go and just like offer yourself at a studio. Say, I'll come in here and I'll hustle for, you know, a month. And, you know, if you need me to go get guitar strings or tune up things or just be the studio, we used to call them affectionately love slaves. It would drive them crazy for their first 3 months. They'd be like, they'd hear somebody be like, oh, send the love slave down to get $40 worth of hamburgers. We're going to feed the band today. And they'd be like, what is a love slave? And I'd be like, oh, it's a term of endearment. Don't worry. We're laughing with you, not at you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll that clip again, and everybody bear with me because we have a little technical hooliganism here. Okay, if you see me get that panicked look, don't worry. We're going to cross the panic line here. Go right here. And here we have something very cool. So sorry. Yikes. Remove. Let's try that again. Oops. Okay, and now here. Okay, now I see what I've got to do. Pardon me, people. Okay, here we go. This should be it. Crap. All right, all right. Can you hear that at all?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Man, that is some great guitar playing.
Thank you.
God, that is just phenomenal. Here we go. We got some more. Now we can share something. Here we go, people. There we go. How about it? Oh, my Lord, have mercy. That was great.
Thank you.
Really, sorry for the little technical screwery. We have a question for you. Do you have a favorite? Do you like science fiction? And if so, do you have a favorite writer?
Oh, yeah, I like science fiction. I usually watch science fiction shows, like Star Trek or, Star Wars.
Have you watched Black Mirror? That's the kind of an interesting show. Have you seen any of that?
No, I really don't actually watch much TV.
That's good.
But science fiction writer-wise, people probably wouldn't consider him science fiction, but in a way he kind of could be considered. Like Edgar Allan Poe, I love poetry. I'm a big poetry reader, so
very nice.
Gothic poetry. I don't know if you consider them science fiction, but I think some people might. So.
I like to read a lot. I confess that my science fiction reading was when I was younger, like back when I was in school and stuff. A lot of the old guys, Harlan Ellison, Isaac Asimov, they're old names now, but still great, literature. Heinlein comes to mind. He had a movie, Starship Troopers, which his science fiction always had a lot of cutting satire about the current events of our world. And so it was pretty heavy stuff for back in the 50s and 60s when he was writing it. Kind of annoyed a lot of people, probably put him on some communist blacklist, But, well, you just, you're great. And when's your album due out? Like, what kind of a timetable do you have? How?
I definitely hope by the end of the year I'll have it finished and be playing out live with it.
Great. Are you going to be singing it primarily?
It's going to be half instrumental, half vocal. So some of the songs are more vocal, only vocal, and still shred and stuff, but
cool
vocals. And then the other half will be just like the Ascension one you played, and just instrumentals. So
excellent. And do you record at home? Do you primarily go to the studio? Tell us about your process a little bit.
Well, right now I'm just recording everything in Reaper, so at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
For people wondering out there, Reaper, if you're a novitiate to this recording stuff and you don't know what the hell anything is, Reaper is a not crowdsourced, but basically you can go on and test it out for free. And people go, oh no, I got Pro Tools or I got free. If you can't record something well and you can't do it in Reaper, even on the basic version, trial for a month, you're an idiot. And it's great. I would suggest to people, if you don't have a lot of coin, spend the $65. Am I correct? I think it's a great. I mean, you can use Pro Tools, you can use Logic, but my feeling is, for you guys out there, work on your chops and your playing. Worry about that. Leave the recording to the engineers who know what they're doing, and play guitar and do your thing out there. Don't worry. I mean, back in the day, we would record on cassette tapes and even Mick Jagger did a whole album on his hotel rooms. Recording. They were using a Linn drum and some stuff, but I recorded so many rock and roll demos on one of those little Tascams with a cassette. We made great sounding things. I mean, I wouldn't want to compare it to a Neve board and all that, but for putting a few mics and some feeds through a mixer at live gigs, you could get. It wasn't the quality of the equipment; it was the caliber of the people running it and playing in the band. Because hell, some bands you can walk in and record them, and they're just so perfect. Personally, I just record them in direct stereo off of either the console or have a submix set up for it. Which just makes me think of another question. Which courses did you take when you were at Full Sail primarily? Did you have the writing courses? What were you in the engineering track, or all of the above?
I've never been much for technology. I'm terrible at that stuff. So yeah, but I did mostly. I started off as a performance major, but a lot of things got messed up with my transfer credits from the online to the campus. So I had to change my major. So I changed it to composition.
Okay.
This was like during the time when COVID was like a thing, and the school shut down. And I only had like one semester left to do until I graduated, but everyone went back on campus, and I didn't want to have to move all the way back to Boston.
Right.
It was just like so much money, and it was just too much. So I kind of just decided to just keep working on my original music and kind of leave that, kind of there.
Right. Well,
I did composition, and that was great. That's a great major,
right. Orchestrate things and do all that cool stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome,
I'll bet. I mean, I'm just a drummer. I hang around with you cool musicians, and you guys do all the nice orchestrations. I just beat on crap for a living, 7/8 or whatever. Well, let's see. I'm going to just go ahead. You mind if I play another cut of yours off of your?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Great. Let me see what I have here that I can pull up quickly. Okay, well, that was Technical Difficulties. What a great named song. I mean, really. Oh, coming right back. I'm just going in here to find some more of this great stuff. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Be right there with you, peeps. I kind of like this cover you did of Ozzy. It just was fun, and I like Ozzy, so.
I actually can't hear you.
They're much better. So, out of all these great players that exist in the world, who did you really first start, and who's like your favorite or one of your favorites? I know how it is. Favorites is so hard to pick because there's so many influences out there. But who are some of yours?
As guitarists, I think at the top of the list it would probably be Yngwie. You know, he kind of inspired me to step it up. You know what I mean? So that the whole neoclassical thing, I love that. He got me into that. He's probably my top number one for everything. Just inventiveness, chops, at least for his his time and stuff, and his stage presence, is amazing, and his overall like charisma. I love Yngwie. I also love Paganini, so he's a violinist, and I'm really inspired by him, or like the idea of, especially with my instrumental music.
Paganini is just great. You can see that in your style. I can hear it.
Yeah, when I write instrumentals, I kind of think of them as like a caprice, so like they could be played on their own without anything, and then I just happen to add drums and bass and distortion. But the general idea of the whole composition is around sort of the idea of like a violinist could read the sheet music and it would sound like a
right
or something. I love
it's obviously because you're so fluid. I can just tell you've just worked those scales for hours, I'm sure, and I like it. You're really quite great.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on. I could we'd love to have you on anytime you're available and you've got something new you want to talk about. Do you have anything out there? Where would I suggest? Do you have a homepage and so forth? You want to tell us a little bit about that before we go?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page, and my Song Ascension, my instrumental, that's on Bandcamp. So I have an account there with that, and I'm going to be posting a couple more songs, instrumental and vocal music, that'll be on my album on there soon. So,
well, great.
That'll be something.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on. I like finding people that are kind of where you're at right now, because it'll be good to watch you as you blow up, and that's cool. And I wish you a lot of luck in your career. I think you'll do very well. You have all the right stuff.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I mean that sincerely. I've seen lots of thousands of bands in my life, but one thing if you don't have it, it's the hustle, and you have the hustle and the desire. I don't think your parents probably had to beat you to learn your scales and do that kind of stuff. If you're self-directed, it's like me. I never had to have anybody whip me to practice or anything. I just sit around with my snare pad or dashboards, whatever. I've ruined many a dashboard. So it happens. Well, everybody, you've been here on Live with Neve. We've had Sacra Victoria. You're in Nashville. Where's your original home from?
Virginia.
Oh, West Virginia. Okay.
Oh no, actually just Virginia.
Oh, Virginia. What town?
Fredericksburg.
Okay. Nice place, actually. I've been through there. Fredericksburg's a very nice little place.
Yeah, it is.
In Frederick, Maryland, that very nice part of the country. I've been through there many times. Kind of a culture shock for you in Nashville, I imagine.
Well, it is in a way. Yeah, there's definitely.
It's not quite. It's southern where you lived in Virginia, but it's southern. I find a lot of people who've never been through the South a lot. They hear an accent and they think, oh, that's just some southern redneck, and I can pick out Georgia, Texas. You can just hear the dialect if you've been around a lot. Yeah. But you have no accent, so I mean, none to speak of. You sound very natural.
Yeah, I don't have an yeah.
That's good. I'm glad you might have just pulled an old thing of skull out of your brassiere and dumped a show in there. You see things on TV, you just never know. People surprise you. It's like, oh, you're gonna have some skull. Wonderful. Being a kid from New York, I learned about it from rednecks. They told me that if you took some of that skull and you swallowed it, it would get you high. And then they watched me suffer. So I never did that again. I stopped listening to rednecks, but they still have a good story to tell about me. Well, everybody watching, we've really had a fine time here. Sacra's an excellent player, and we're going to be out of here, and I will see everybody tomorrow morning. I will see you at 10 o'clock, and we'll have a good time. Sacra, you have a great day, and we'll see you back soon.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, everybody, we're out of here. Have a nice day. Enjoy your Thursday. Know that the weekend is here. Let's go home.